Welcome to 3-Minute History with Mr. Marr. Quick summaries about a range of different history topics. Today we're going to be having a look at one of Scotland's main cities, and we'll be doing a brief history of Dundee. Given its hundreds of years of history, obviously 3 minutes isn't going to cover it all, but we'll give a summary of what you can expect to know and what you need to know about the city. The early history of Dundee is to some extent unclear, including the name. It's mainly agreed that the word Dun is derived from the ancient Gaelic and other languages for fort. However, the D element is less clear. There are some suggestions it might simply be based on Tay, which is the river on which the city stands, or that it could be derived from words to do with fire, or indeed the name of a local lord. It's not entirely clear. There is, however, evidence that since what's known as the Mesolithic period, which is around up to 15,000 years ago, that there have been people living in the area. This is based on artefacts that have been found, such as axes and other materials. The area of Dundee would have been attractive to people in this period because of access to the river and also possibly access to hills, which would provide possibly some protection. The development of Dundee as a town began in the Middle Ages. It went through various stages of this development. King William, in the late 1100s, granted a charter to establish a town in the area, and this was based on what was known as Dundee Castle. Dundee Castle is no longer there, but was on the site of what is now St Paul's Cathedral. Over the years, Dundee featured in a variety of Scotland's most famous events. It was occupied and the scene of conflict during the Wars of Independence. During Mary Queen of Scots' time, it became a walled city as Scotland sought to protect itself from what was known as the Rough Wooing, when King Henry VIII of England tried to force his son to marry the Queen. And during the War of the Three Kingdoms, it was again the site of conflict. This largely derived around its role as an important location because of its castle. By the time we get to the 1800s and the 1900s, which takes in a period known as the Industrial Revolution, Dundee began to be transformed into the city which is more recognisable today. It was a key part of Britain's empire. It had a number of factories and mills which took products from the empire such as flax and jute, and then produced them for something that could be sold. It wasn't just this though that created jobs. The city's harbour was very important. There was a major shipbuilding port, and also whaling took place in the city for a period. And quite famously, as well as jute, the city was also known for its jam and journalism. Jam, in terms of that produced by a company called Keeler's, and journalism based on D.C. Thomson, who produced comics such as the Beano and the Dandy, and newspapers like the Sunday Post. In the modern era, Dundee has undergone further changes. Its position on the River Tay was significant. In the late 1800s, this saw the building of a rail bridge which eventually collapsed, and eventually in the 1960s saw the development of a road bridge as well. Dundee's industrial history has also changed in recent times as well. Major employers such as Timex and the NCR and Michelin have shut down either entirely or partly, and this has seen a revamp in terms of the city's traditional working basis. Many see the city's waterfront area as a symbol for this change. There has been substantial alteration to the look of Dundee, including the building of the new V&A Museum.